is Tony from Freedom at the Crossroads, helping women everywhere look better, feel better without the pressure. This is your girl, the undomesticated woman, because this is our year, this is our new year, this is 2019, and we're still in Women's Month. And today, girls, I am ready to continue my rant on being an undomesticated woman, breaking the cycles of conditioning and the shackles of OPE, also known as other people's expectations. And so I just wanted to touch on the fact that I had been having some conversations with a couple of women online and Facebook, some clients, some friends, some colleagues, and I said, you know what, I'm going to do a survey because too many women have the same story where they feel guilty about taking time out for themselves. They barely know what self-care means. They feel like they're pulled in several different directions. They're stressed out. They don't know how to set the right boundaries or how to even create boundaries to make space for recognizing their sacredness, their personhood, and owning who they are. They are feeling powerless. They're feeling stressed out and yet not enough, and just giving from a place of emptiness. And I said, you know what? What is your biggest hindrance? What's your biggest barrier to self-care? Because I have found, over the course of the years, through my own personal experience, through generational experiences in my family, and stories that I have yet to fully share with you guys, women have historically been conditioned, brainwashed to accept less than what is their due. And what do I mean by that? I mean that women have been conditioned to undervalue their health, to undervalue themselves, and to give their power over to others. Whether it's culture, whether it's society, whether it's the male-dominated patriarchal society that most of us live in, women have always been getting the short end of the stick when it comes to a level playing field, when it comes to personhood. That's where you get this whole notion of the second-class citizen. Women get on here in the West, in particular in the U.S., and I'm sure other places, if there's in some regions of the world, it's even far less when you're talking about, less developed poor places in the world. Women get paid 70, cents on the dollar here still. Men get paid more for the same amount of work. When women assert themselves, they're being masculine, they're being demanding. When men assert themselves, oh, he's confident. When women speak and break the silence, they don't know their place. Oh, she needs to shut up. Oh, she doesn't know what she's talking about. Men, oh, yes, he sounds knowledgeable. We see this playing out politically here in the U.S. with people like AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And what do women like her have in common with other women that they're talking about that are being raked across the coals in social media, in the public eye, social, culturally, in the political sphere? People like Maxine Waters, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Hillary Clinton still, whether you like her or not, same thing. Any woman that is breaking the silence, that is saying, you know what, I have a right to be at this table. I have a right to speak my truth. I have a right to give voice to my personhood. I have a right to basic human decency. I have a right to ownership of self. The women are either bitchy, overly sexual, they're whores, or they're bossy, demanding, high maintenance. All these things are terms that are used to try to rein women in who are saying, you know what, I'm throwing off the shackles of OPE, other people's expectations. I'm throwing off the shackles of society, whose society or what part of society or culture or the people power structure say that I should be in. And the question then becomes, what does that have to do with self-care? Well, let me tell you what that has to do with self-care. Self-care is first and foremost is activism. And it's taking ownership and control of your body, seeing to the needs of your body, seeing to the needs of yourself as a human being, your mental, physical, spiritual, sexual, whatever needs those are as a basic human being. Owning your space, setting boundaries as to who can access the sacredness that is you. Yes, self-care. In case you're wondering, it's not all these cutesy things you see on Instagram. Self-care is a movement, and is an act. If you're not prepared to be an activist, if you're not prepared to break shackles and break the wheel like in Game of Thrones, the Dragon Queen, this is not for you. You might as well continue to accept the status quo, be silent, be spinning on that hamster wheel, going nowhere, frustrated, pulled in several different directions, martyring yourself on that altar of OPE, other people's expectations. It's time to break the cycle. And yes, I'm here to help you do that. And that's why I said you need to become an undomesticated woman. You need to allow that goddess to awaken. And just like Neo in the Matrix, where he took the pill and his eyes were open, and other people too took the pill, right? But some of them chose to go back into the fantasy world of status quo. And those that were awakened, truly awakened, decided to say, no, I cannot accept the status quo anymore. I will no longer be silent. I will own my personhood. I will own my sacredness. I will take back my power because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Yes, ladies. So I'm just sharing some of my rantings and ravings about self-care, why I'm so passionate about it. It has a history in my family. For those of you who don't know, my family is originally from West Africa, Nigeria in particular, and we come from, very traditional lifestyles and culturally constructed roles for women. And even as a child, there was something in me that was rebelling against that. And a lot of that had to do with my mom being such a, very well educated woman. She spoke multiple languages and she was a rebel. But at the end of the day, the story didn't end the way I think she wanted it to end and the way I wanted it to end. A good page on that, or a good intro to that, would be Buchi Emecheta's book, The Joys of Motherhood. And you kind of, in that book, you would get a sense of where I'm coming from and what I have seen women generationally in my family experience, and what I have observed just in, traditional African culture. And this is the case in a lot of cultures where women put their desires, their dreams, all of that, they sacrifice that for others. They sacrifice that for culture, to be the good woman, to be the good wife, to be accepted in society, to be given some measure of respect in society, and essentially giving away their power and giving away their very essence. And no more. I'm tired of seeing women die from lack of self-care. You can die from lack of self-care. I'm here to tell you that when you neglect your health, when you neglect your needs, when you neglect your power, when you give it away, when you give from a place of emptiness, you give until there's nothing left, seeking to validate and be accepted by society or culture or others. This is what happens. And we see it, in the research, however you want to interpret it. In 2019, women still have a higher rate of death due to chronic illness, due to heart disease, misdiagnosis of various cancers, misdiagnosis of heart attacks even. And this is all has to do with what's underlying culture, the patriarchal constructs and structures that are built into our cultures. And women of this generation, new generations, are finally stirring up and fanning the flames of rebellion. And it's way past time for us to take back our power as women, to take back our health, to take back our personhood. Can you imagine? Women are still fighting in 2019 to own their own bodies. Can you imagine that? Reproductive health, whatever you want to call it, is essentially, let's break it down, keep it simple. It's your body. And whatever your views on abortion, pro-life, however you want to call it, it's an essential question of who owns this body, right? It's called taking back your power and taking ownership of who you are. And part of that, a large part of that, is called self-care, ladies. So this is Tonya from Freedom at the Crossroads, helping women everywhere look better, feel better without the pressure, telling you, rise up, woman. Let the goddess awaken. And going into the summer, just to give you a little teaser, the Huntress is coming. Yeah, ladies, I'm sure you're going to want to know what that is. But drop your comments below. Ding, ding, ding on the bell. Subscribe. Share this video. Share this space with all your friends, ladies. And join my community. Let's talk. Let's have a discussion. Let's empower one another, okay? Once again, this is Tonya from Freedom at the Crossroads saying, woo, be undomesticated, be beautiful, be you.